Okay, welcome everyone to the 93rd Keshe Knowledge Seekers Workshop. It's Thursday, December 24th, 2015, and this is our next to the last Knowledge Seekers Workshop of the year. And we've got various people that can show things, and there's some videos and pictures and so on. But first we'll check in with Mr. Keshe and see what he has in mind, and see what today's teaching will bring us. Okay, I think we're ready there, Mr. Keshe. How are you doing?
I I didn't disappear. I just forgot something. I just ran to get it for you.
Okay,
Good
good.
morning to you. Good day to you, wherever you are, as usual. Whenever you listen to these teachings and what we call knowledge seekers programs, we have come a long way in establishing a lot of new technologies, a lot of new sciences. Um, we have come in a way to understand more in how things are and how things work. Hopefully, we have added to the knowledge in so many ways the correct way, and we added on the knowledge of our old and highly respected scientists of the past. As I say, science, knowledge of a man is like a house, brick by brick has been added to, and we are another brick on the wall. And somehow, very soon, the way we are going will become the brick at the bottom of a new wall of a science. But at least we hopefully set the foundation right that the wall will go up this way thereon into a better state of what I call understanding. Uh, One of the problems I have seen in the past few weeks with the new teachings, especially with the plasma, is how people are developing different aspects of this technology the way they see it and they think it is, and how some of you are adding to the knowledge, but in a way, in a very beautiful way, and you are adding to the knowledge the way you understand it. And that was the purpose of these teachings, to allow individuals to participate in the development of the technology, not just to do as we do, monkey see, monkey does. There are a number of things which has been in so many ways been interesting for us to learn and to teach. And in so many ways, every now and then we need a um, summing up of what we learned, what we know, what we thought, what has been the total understanding, and um what has been the essence of how things look and are and how it should be. In the last couple of weeks, we have taken a new direction in the course of teachings. And as we're becoming more and more plasma orientated in the work, today I'm going to break to you a very fundamental knowledge. It is so fundamental that you all have done it, you all are doing it, but as I said, we are going in such a high speed of teaching that for everyone to understand the whole teaching is very, very difficult. It's extremely hard to follow it unless we recap every now and then. And today and next week, not only we try to add to the knowledge, but recap and add in a way that start making sense to a lot of you. If we go back to the original teaching, I try to use a marker that you can see. We spoke all the time about the plasma, and we said the plasma is expansional and it expands. This, when we draw it like this, is we only speak about magnetical or gravitational. But this is the mean average both ways of what is given out as magnetical and what is brought in as gravitational. And gravitational is always more than magnetical. And the magnetical, if it gives too much, and gravitational does not take in +1 or at least higher order strength, that when it becomes lower, it becomes the strength of the magnetical uh, disbursement of the field, then you don't have a mass. The mass comes when the gravity increases. So what we did, if you recap, we went into the stage of looking at very first original reactors, which was built in early 2005, 2006 and before. And we came and we showed the first reactor, which was a dome, if you remember the blue ones and the black ones. And then we showed that we put a cap inside. We made it two cores. The way as it goes at the center one becomes a Caroline core, and the other one becomes the what we call the outer core. In a way, we try to create two divisions of strength of the field. In some cases, we created a rotation in both clockwise, and some cases we did both anti-clockwise, and in some cases we could rotate one clockwise and one anti-clockwise of the two. But at the end, it wasn't the physical rotation of the cores which counted. It was how the gravitational magnetic field in each section, or what we thought that we created a wall, decided to move. We had one section which created its own field, and with our knowledge, we created a second field. In so many ways, if we recap and go back and extend the knowledge on what we have added up to now, that has been that we have a Caroline core and we have a second core, what we call the outer core, has become traditionally known as, you'll find out, does the physical barrier of what we call to be the inner core acceptable? Or have we got stuck with this idea because as a physical tangible ideas of existence, we had to give it a physicality that we could say up to there is this matter and inside is different. In reality, we have seen physical matter now with the reactors, the Gans and the nanomaterials you made. Material state fields is irrelevant. What the field strength decides, inside or outside, which dictates the position and interaction. So what we assume to be the Caroline core, for example, and is contained in the physical wall of the inner core, how we assumed and we could explain, which we was acceptable at the time, was that this inner core, where we have like this, is a solid, and we said that it holds the containment of the matter inside it, that it leads to the creation of one field, and then the second field created in the by the rotation of the outer core leads to creation of two fields, one going this way and the other one going that way, or do both go the same direction. Or as we added to the knowledge, and we know, for example, in the stars, in the sun, there is no inner core, outer core. The boundaries are made by the interaction of the field's strength. So, in a way, the theory of the inner core of the Earth becomes invalid. Does not make any validation. Because now what it is the magnetic gravitational field which is made by one section in different strength in respect to another section, which is this part, now holds validity. Now makes sense, because in the sun there is no layer, there is no solid core. In the sun, in the stars, in the galaxies, we don't see solid walls separating galaxies from each other. We see the gravitational magnetic field strength, which creates that separation. point of no interaction or balance interaction. So in so many ways, in what we've been taught from the beginning of the time of the new science of geological structure of the earth, where there is an inner core and what we call the inner core, which is known as Caroline core, and the outer core, become totally meaningless. In the center of the earth, there is a section which creates its own gravitational magnetic field, and through the structure or whatever physicality, its field strength interacts with another field strength which could be created by a part of the outer core or the lava of the physical structure of the earth. And so we receive the interaction of the two fields, which the interaction of the two gives us the magnetical and the gravitational fields of the planet. So it is very interesting. Now that we understand this, now that we understand the structure, change with a simple, very simple idea, this outer core to your magnetical coil, and change this one to your gravitational core. So what happens? The field strength of your gravitational coil, which you put inside each other, is not the physical matter of the copper and nanomaterial, is the interaction of the nano-coated material, which the field interaction with the field interaction of the nano-coated of the gravitational coil creates the field flow. So if you make a section across your springs, which you made, what you should see is the structure of the inner part of the planet. You should see the structure of the inner part of a solar cell, a star. You should see the structure of the universal creation of the universe. Is a section in the structure of the universe which man has not seen up to now, or has not had the ability to look at it, or has not had the tools to see it, to observe it, follows the same principle. Then the question to ask, are we in the inner circle or are we in the outer circle? Are we in a gravitational field flow galaxies or are we in a magnetical field flow galaxies? There is a reason I raise this point. Because a lot of you in past years have followed the work, have been through it. Made the ping pong balls, made the steel coils, made the small copper coils, you made the 21 centimeter coils from steel. And we all followed the procedure, step by step, to mature, to understand. Can I ask a question? Do you see my writing correct way or is it sideways to you? Okay, good job. Let's see if we can change. Thanks for asking. Yeah, okay, should have told. Talking is a good thing. No, we'll get it right one day. Let's see. Okay, let's see what we're gonna get. Okay, it's at the bottom of the page anyway. Next page we can do it better. So what we come down to is the reality that does the situation with what we gathered, um, or what we think, exactly what we see here. What is important is, has or have we missed a very big part in the whole of what's been taught in past few days, in past few weeks? be it in the private teaching, be it in public teaching. Because I'm going to move this out of the way and move a little bit that way to be all right. So let's look at what we have, what we've done. Go back to the beginning. Go back into what we started and how we come. Because by the end of this today's session, you will find out a new dimension in a lot of things which you've done, a lot of things which has been added on. Why I raise this point? Look at this. This is structure of what you call the Earth in this bracket here, is the structure of everything has been done up to now in all the teachings. We have just changed the tools, we have just changed the elements. This is the first Iranian core, 8 years ago, nearly 7, 8 years ago. This is the first structure we did in Belgium 10, 12 years ago. This is the same structure as the little gas balls you made. It's the same structure when you added Gans in. It's the same structure as the center of the planet Earth. It's the same structure as the sun. It's the same structure as your coils. Nothing has changed. Creating gravitational section or creating a different section with a different strength, and then cascading it with another field strength, with another system. The present coil system we use the same copper coil, nano-coated, Gans coated. What about if we use an aluminum pipe and a copper pipe and nano-coat both of them? Won't we get a more effective gravitational magnetic field? What about if you put the aluminum outside and put the copper inside? Would the choice of material by putting brass and a copper will make the difference? Because now the field created by the center due to the composite materials within the Gans of the brass is totally different than the copper outside. Extend the knowledge to the point where this become your core maglev set and this become your house. Can we create a system that the interaction of your coils creates a position within the house that you don't need no wiring, you work with the field interaction? Teaching is to inspire, not to monkey see, monkey does. But another part of this is important, because if we go back and if we look at what we did, look at what we did. I draw a line, I draw a circle. You put the holes on top. You call these the ping pong balls. You rotated it, you put a motor on it, and you rotated as fast as you could. You saw the sections in it, but still you contain the matter part of the plasma within the structure of the plasma. You created the star formation, and we saw the effect of the fields to create a free plasma. We created the coils, and we connected the coils. We see return on the power supply. If you look up to now, except this position, we always have contained the plasma with elements of the matter part of the plasma. Is there a way where we can create a plasma which itself can hold itself, but we create a field force that itself dictates its own containment? In the teaching of last week, I explained a very simple thing which a lot of you missed, or understood but did not take notice, or it wasn't important because it was just addition. I explained how the motion in the rotation of the plasma is created by the equatorial rotation or by polarity rotation. We explained it doesn't matter which way we look at it. The interaction of these two field forces leads to the rotation of the physical plasma. Where is the maximum amount of fields which is absorbed inside the plasma? That's its equator line. At this point, this is your gravitational absorption. This is your magnetical absorption or repulsion. Then go a step further and ask yourself a very fundamental question. And the question is, we've been told that where we have, I tried to split this next to each other that you can see it, because it's important. Where here we have magnetical rotation and we have equatorial rotation, which is the gravitational rotation. What we have assumed up to now is when we have the sun and we have the earth, because of the direct line on the equator, we get the maximum heat due to its facing the sun, or be it that way, closer or constantly on the same line of strength. If we understood all this and what we thought before, you understand a flaw in this acceptance of the technology or a science which we have accepted. The equatorial line is always the most heated part of any element, of any plasma, be it the sun, be it the earth, because this is the point where the two fields constantly interact. If you see this, you understand very clearly that the flaw, that the equatorial heat comes due to facing the sun constantly, does not apply. Is not correct, because the rotational, polarity and equatorial rotation of magnetical in a field strong strength creates a heat. And in respect to where the heat sits and how it's distributed, leads to the temperature gradient, which partially leads to what we call the heating of the air, any system. This is important because in the future, when you start working with the plasma totally, you'll find out you cannot ignore this heating line, which comes from rotational diagonal of the polarity and equator. This puts a lot of assumptions which we have why there is such a high heat on the equator line into bed. Now we understand in reality why. Not because of its position in respect to the sun. then this makes a lot of things which we have assumed totally unbalanced in the whole world of assumption of the plasma interaction. This is now brings another subject into the whole understanding. Here we explained that the magnetical and the gravitational field interaction. Here we created a containment with a ping pong balls or copper coils. Here we spoke that the fields of these copper coils or ping pong balls leave the physical boundary and they interact and they create free plasma condition. If you understood this, and you understood what we put on the table in past few weeks, a lot of you from 26th of, what do you call it, October, November, start making all these coils. You're looking for elusive power. I'm looking for elusive lift. Where you made the position, where all of you got so carried away with the energy that you missed the reality of the work of what we put on the table in these coils. I bring the paper up, you have a look. Maybe some of you understand where things are very much misunderstood. But now, if you understood, and you understood the operation of this system, isn't there a way to create boundaryless free plasma where you have a control of? If you understood, listen and watch. Maybe a lot of you will be shocked in what is going to come on the table for you. I'm going to hold it in my hand. I hope I won't damage it. It's come a long way from Philippines. You have your magnetical. You have your gravitational. Would it be right to reposition the two in a way that the magnetical sits within the gravitational, and inside you create a free plasma? The plasma which you have the control of, you can dictate the power of, and you can decide in how it will move. In a way, if you look at this, you can put this in a rotational way this way, and leave your gravitational on its own line. This is where I wanted to bring you with building this. But in a way, it had a side benefit with a power supply. The whole purpose of teaching the coil system, you looked as usual for energy, I looked for a free plasma. If you understood and understand, and you can expand and build a coil exactly like this, which goes this way, and leave your gravitational coil this way. In the center ball here, which is a spherical, if you look at it, it'll be like this. If I can put it that way, it'll be something like this. Okay, without me damaging the system, it will be something like this. In the center here, now you create a plasma, which is exact copy of the plasma of the universe. Exact copy, the plasma of the sun. This will dictate the magnetical, and this dictates the gravitational. But this has a beauty. It's this ring itself has both gravitational magnetic field, while This both has the same, both gravitational magnetic. So, in fact, by making the coil, we have made the true essence of the creation of the plasma. Fields continuously interacting, and the fields here have to interact more. At this level, field, if I can turn it this way, you can see it. At this level, the equator line, you get more fields being absorbed in through the gravitational. The two gravitational fields are closer, and the magnetical, as it gives to this, make it more gravitational. And on this side, the magnetical the same. So you have achieved, in fact, I hope I haven't damaged this because this is a lot of work, by guys. But it's the only way we can teach. So what we see is a true structure of a plasma. In so many ways, when you stack this up in a tree stacker, you try to create the same essence of work, which was gravitational and magnetical, gravitational and magnetical, gravitational and magnetical, but in a way, a magnetical and a total gravitational pull, which makes it stronger. So, if you understood this, we covered all bases of production of the plasma in a very simple way. This had a physical containment. This had matter component. In this setup, in this structure, if you can understand it and take it a step further, you will understand now you have more or less near enough free plasma control, where you can change the gravity in the center or change the magnetical in the outer. If you understood this process, now you see another tool in the arsenal of plasma play. A huge tool. For those of you who understand and can take this to the next level, you will have a wonderful time. Because now you can add into its atmosphere as you like. You can replicate the structure of other planets, that they can interfere with the free plasma. Now, in fact, if you look at it, you have a free plasma condition. It's like a water. You decide what you're gonna add, what color, what texture, what material, how, and then you can change it. And if you understood the whole process from the beginning, you will understand a very simple criteria. And that is, we have reached the point near enough of creation of the plasma the way the universe does. With the difference that here, now we don't look at the copper as a copper wire. We look at the Gans nano-coated material, which are plasmatic, and the copper is inside it, is irrelevant. It's totally and absolutely irrelevant. It can be anything. It can be a hair, it can be aluminum, it can be titanium, it can be anything. It's the fields which will dictate the creation of the plasma in the center, and now you can control with that the plasma. You were looking for energy, and we were looking for free plasma. As I said, I'll bring the knowledge to the point that all of you, one way or another, will start moving into the next step of free plasma. And if you can do this, and you made 4 coils, and open your coils and twist them and place them that they stay 90 degrees in respect to each other the way I showed. Very much like, I can get the paper out of it. Very much like this. Now you have the beauty of a control of a plasma without any tangibility, where here you went to create it, here now you control it. This is another way to create a free plasma, but this is the way the universal systems create plasma. Is the plasma created from the inner core, or is the plasma created when the matter outside creates such a mass that their fields interaction leads to the creation of the plasma inside out? Then this raises another question. Is the center of every structure hollow? Hollow of a visible matter we see, but full and saturated with the high level magnetical gravitational fields of a plasma. Does a hollow center Earth have any meaning? Or hollow center Sun has any meaning? Hollow in a way, non-physical, visible matter state of the man point of vision, yes, it is hollow. You saw this in the ping pong balls when you put them on rotation. You saw the hollowness. Suddenly it was an empty gap in between. And I explained many times that the empty gap has come by the interaction of the fields of the Ganses which are within the cup, within the ball. This is another tool in a way that can lead you to flight control which you are looking for, to production of the material in a plasma level for the first time is in the hand of you, that you can decide. Because let's look at it this way. We saw what Alex showed us last week with the onions, what do you call it, with the orange. You made the star formation balls. Now let's make the spring balls. You have a spring which is going this way. You have a spring which is going this way. You have a spring which is going here, and you have a spring there. You have a spring here, and you have a spring there. You created spring here, and you create a spring there. Hollow plasma. But interesting, a point you might have not noticed is that this itself creates its own plasma. Then look, the hollow plasma, the center plasma, free, and outer plasma dictated by the interaction of the control of the matter. Then now for the first time you have a full control to change gravitational magnetic field of each individually, and this will create you what you wanted. Full free plasma. And if you can take this to this level and understand this, you will find out you need no rotation, You need no, in a way, physical structure, because if you lock position of these, then the only thing is left is for the fields to interact on every direction. And what it will understand in a very simple way, you have a system which not only conserves its own energy, but it allows you to create position and different field strength across its environment according to whatever your need might be. And this is what, in so many ways, in the world of chemistry, you call it the chemical biome. And vacancies that is trying to be filled up in atomic structure, or whatever you call it, with electron position, electrons, protons and neutrons. But totality sits in this teaching. If you manage to connect these in a way that you can dictate the gravitational magnetic field of each one into a box, then you decide this to reduce or that to increase, or vice versa with any other three, and in a very simple way you can create the elusive lift with less than $10. Because now you don't have to have the Gans and roll it or put it in a container. For the first time you have created a free plasma in true essence of free, with no physical container. And in a way transparent, that the energy can flow in and out of it. This brings into play a lot of understanding in a lot of ways, in what you call chemistry, in physics, in space technology, in development of the space technology. This allows every man to be able to take into space. I said last week, this is your stacker. And if you can put 4 of your stackers and you can position them in the right place, you will find you achieve a point where you can lift. Where not necessarily you can only lift, but in putting your reactors in position, if you get your position of the field right, you can allow other materials to lift without ever being made into the structure. Then by changing these fields, you do not need to have the material within the frame of the system. You can position it outside or inside the frame, or you can dictate it in how much and where it goes. This is part of directional transmutation and directional communication without any matter state as a superconductivity at level of the plasma. You call this the physicality of the man, you call this the emotion of the man, you call this the soul of the man. where physicality does not need to operate within the totality of the structure, and the fields can be outside. Then you decide how this field is ejected, to which direction, as you can change this, and you can run a very easy communication, zero time matter. So you can see how the coils come into operation. You can see how the position of the coils for the first time gives you the freedom which you did not have with any of the setup before. But it was part of the teaching for you to believe, to understand how everything works. Because it was part of the structure to set and to structure to work with. But one thing interesting you will see is the same proposition as what we saw in the free plasma of the Ganses. When you made the ball, you saw the free. Now that you make the plasmas in each center, and you see one thing, that these plasmas will have the same hollow center. That is where the fields are so powerful at the matter level that we don't see it. But if we absorb at a higher level, if we develop technologies where we can go in, we will see this structure. High magnetic fields, which is the gravitational, working with the lower magnetic field, which is magnetical, and consequently the rotation of the plasma. Conversion of the strength into motion. These points will become very, very important in the coming days, coming weeks, once you did and do the job you have done with all the systems. If you start making these coils, and if you start positioning these coils more than a flat into a spherical shape. Excuse me just 1 second, I have to do something with that. The whole structure changes. The whole understanding changes. The whole teaching of creation of the plasma changes. If you understood, for example, the gravitational magnetic field interaction at the equator, it should not be very far for you to be able to create a heating element with the coils you have. It should not be very difficult to make systems that are heaters. You can make and use the same system for high gravitational magnetic field communication lines. You can make systems which give you all the facilities for everything which you need and you want. Because now you have understood, hopefully, and you can see the beauty of this system. gravitational magnetic field, inside the gravitational magnetic field, which even the magnetical has a gravitational section to it. While it's getting is giving, while it's getting is giving, while it's getting is giving and taking at the same time. Exactly the true way a plasma works. Where the gaps comes in where the fields go in, and the gaps comes in where the fields comes out. This, if you understood, is the true working of the plasma. And the fields which will be created here are exactly the same. Exact, but plasma in motion, plasma in strength, and in so many ways, a plasma which for the first time you have full control on making it gravitational fully or magnetical fully, or creating a gravitational magnetic field that it becomes in field strength heavier or lighter. Heavier in mass in magrav, lighter in mass in magrav. And in comparison to another entity, heavier or lighter, creating gravitational magnetic position, which is the target of the space technology. The spaceship program is heading that way. As I said, we are getting so close into one of you creating a system which is strong enough to show it in public about the lift, motion and full control. This gives you a control arm. You decide how, which gravitational is higher, which one is the higher. If you want to descend in an angle, or you want to descend vertically or horizontally ascending. Any of you who has worked with these coils and used the right order coating and gansing, any of you is at the point, or all of you are at that point of connecting to a plasma supply, not an electron supply. Electron vibration is too weak to do anything to the plasma. This is why the present science uses megawatts, 1.4 gigawatt to do a little thing with the plasma that they can show. Because 1.4 gigawatt of electron vibration is a peanut compared to the plasma of a single plasma strength. That's why places like CERN, places like whatever they use to increase and feed to create plasma runs into so much energy intake and very little out, because it's peanuts. All they are doing is speeding something up, but they're not changing its structure. But with one coil which you have made and you can follow it through, you have achieved more than the top scientists in the world have achieved in these research centers. Because they work with the peanuts, they work with the crumbs, and you start working with a full bread. Any questions?
Mr. Keshe, this is John in British Columbia.
Yes.
You had mentioned when the blueprints came out, when we started working on the stacker systems, the horizontal setup, that the spacing between the stackers between each layer was very important. Is that only applied to the horizontal configuration, or is that as well applying to a stacker with a vertical configuration?
Both ways. This is not that. Now you can make a stackers which are the stackers themselves.
I don't understand the stackers themselves.
No, now with this system, you still can make the three stackers.
But the
But
spacing is going to have to be much greater.
yes, but the power is much more.
Okay.
The power, in a way, if you look at it, the top stacker and the bottom stacker, that stabilizes the field in the middle stacker is much easier to control.
Okay.
Because you feed it, you don't wait for it to be fed from outside. Because you feed it, you keep the strength in the center. If you look
And
at it, if you
oh,
look, sorry, if you look at it, um, if it makes sense to you, let's look at it this way. If you look at the structure like oxygen, or if you look at the structure like a helium, it is a three stacker. And that's why things like helium stable, they're inert, because the field flow inside creates a condition in the middle that it covers the totality in a field, the gravitational magnetic field strength. The inertness of the gas is due to the balanced gravitational magnetic field within the structure of its plasma. Nothing to do with short of one electron or need one electron.
okay. Second question, just a quick one. You mentioned using a plasmatic source instead of an electron vibration source. Would an array of Alex's beads be a sufficient source to get the system triggered or beginning it?
Alex's speed creates a certain amount of plasma. Plasmatic condition is sufficient, yes.
Okay, thank
But
you.
you have to know how you strengthen it in the current and how you strengthen it. You see that when you speak about Alex's speed and then you speak about the current, in that level you speak about the current plasma, not current electrical flow,
Yes,
electron. And it's a big difference. If
yes.
you look for vibration of the electrons, they will not show because it's too powerful. But if you do it, yes. But in a way, if you look at the Alex's bead and in what we taught you about the split capacitors, it's the same process. It's very much the same process.
Yeah, just eliminate the matter state in the bead would eliminate the conversion to the electron state, correct?
Yeah,
That's what I thought. Thank you.
you're welcome. There is a way you can do something very interesting. If you want to work in a total plasma condition, even with your split capacitors or your battery, that you don't need a matter state like aluminum foil, or you don't need the Gans state of the matter, but you can work within the fields. One of you, I think you know who you are, has started playing with wires and pipes. You're on the right track. But slightly out of line, but if you think of it, you can sort it out. Where if you choose your wires slightly different than your tubes, or totally different than your tubes, and then when you put the wires in the tubes and the tubes in the bigger tube, then you will see a huge difference in the performance of the system, the power supply demand of the system.
What do you mean different wires? Different material wires or different size gauges?
Pardon, can you speak a bit louder?
Do you mean different material wires besides copper or different gauges?
I think the man has spoken.
Yes.
Yes, man. What would you like to say, Brad?
I said,
What gave you that idea to do it?
I've had it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Never did it. So now I went and got the stuff to do it. So I'm starting to do it.
Why don't you choose an aluminum wire and a copper coil and then brass copper wire and a plastic coil?
Plastic coil.
Yeah. Plastic coils are one of the best energy transfer units. Even plastic pipes.
Okay.
Something a lot of you are still following monkey see monkey does. Go back into what we explained last week. I was Armand said to me, you know what, when you explain about water working like Viagra is becoming very, a lot of people are talking about it on the YouTube with the rest. Understand what it means. Just don't look at it for what you do, what you wanted out of the water. If you use nano coat specific type of plastics to use them as a pipe, you get a huge energy release because you work on hydrogen. That's why body uses sugar, CH bond. None of you has picked up on this to use it for your development. Any of you who used by accident plastic in your nano coating have already used the energy of the plastic, and you don't play with it. It's a huge amount of energy which can create huge amount of gravitational field, not the hydrogen, but the availability of the energy which is there between carbon and hydrogen bond in plastic. You are looking to create a Gans of CH. Why don't you nano coat the plastic and use as part of the structure in your system? Why don't you buy plastic wires and nano coat them and use them? It doesn't have to be copper wire. You got to start opening. A lot of you will fall out from now on because intuition is creeping in, and a lot of people start doubting their own results, their own what they do, and they leave it because they don't understand. But every one of you is right in what you're doing. Just try to understand the process. I was explaining to my son yesterday or the day before that we never die. Death is not something to be afraid of. All we do, we change state of matter. We came from a different state of matter, lived through that state of matter. When we change the position in the state of matter strength, that we are not physically visible at this strength, they call it a death. Why not the celebration of a new cycle? If you understand this, then you understand very simply what you can do in your processes. Convert the simplest energies. Don't go for complicated when you need it. To control your capacitors or these coils for energy or lift, don't look at Gans of titanium, Gans of plutonium. Look at the Gans of hydrogen. Look at the Gans of CH bond, plastic. A lot of it very rapid, you can control it. Any other question? You're on the right track, Brad, but understand what you're doing.
There's a question from Arthur who asks, what's the best way to nanocoat plastic? Is it still caustic? And the difference between the plastics?
Caustic seems to be one of it. And different plastics create different kind depending on their pressure and how they've been built. I do not know much about it. I've worked a lot with them. But the more I work with plaster, the more I realize I haven't understood the work of it.
You did determine a difference at one point in the necks of the Coca-Cola bottles being different than the body of the bottle, and that they were better for use in some of the experiments, I think for generating hydrogen.
Because it allows you, it releases the hydrogen very rapidly.
And they do use caustic to break down plastic bottles that are hard to break down.
Don't break
in other
down
ways.
with caustic. What is a caustic? It's a hydrogen, it's an oxygen, and has a sodium. You have the hydrogen in the plastic, the two balances. Then if you look at it, a lot of you have never tested it, never looked at it. You have the nitrogen and sodium from the caustic. You have the carbon from the plastic, and you had a free oxygen from the caustic. Have a look what combination it gives you. A lot of amino acids, a lot of free energy already in the shape of food, in the shape of free energy life. And then you can see the variety of the fields you can use to create what you like.
Okay, there's another question from EMC squared. Would different Ganses be applied?
Einstein is here.
Would different Ganses be applied to the individual coils, or can the same soup of different Ganses be applied to all coils?
We explained this before. Depends how you want the coil to perform. We've seen different performances. We see different characteristics of it. The structure of how you do, you have to start planning things. You have to start making things pre-planned and just getting in there because it's done. We're going to repeat it.
Well, this
we don't see any much new innovations.
Well, that's right. This came up in our discussion, actually, in the plasma reactor group. Shandor came in toward the end of the show, and then started discussing that we should have a plasma schematic, basically, or a vision where the plasma is going to flow in our device, whatever it is we're making. We should have that full vision before we even start to use the physicality to direct it.
No, the thing is, if you understand, you wanted the visuality of it, and we saw with gentlemen with the 3 boxes of different Ganses. He's now part of the Keshe Foundation Innovation Group. It's become part of the members of the Keshe Foundation, what I call a team of innovators and on a full payroll of the foundation from now on, from January. He showed you where the direction is. You want to see how they interact? Follow the example, put your thing in and move your magnet on the top and see how the bubbles of the Gans will follow up. Move your Gans in a solid container in test tube and move it to one corner and see how the bubbles will increase in your side or will be depressed and there'll be no bubbles. Then you see how everything works.
Hello, it's Chandra here. As I am here, I'd just like to add to what Rick said. So 24 hours ago, or 25 hours ago, it was the Cache Plasma Reactor Group weekly meeting, where we have seen beautiful 3D drawings made by Robert Avanesian, and just I suggested before doing a lot of work for making such a beautiful 3D renderings of concepts, to avoid to do any mistake, it's better to understand it by
Excuse me,
when
Sandra, I'm
designing.
going to stop you there. I'm going to stop you there. I know you mean good, but we all never make mistake. We just look at the things our way.
Yeah, I meant about the direction of the coils
Even the
was different
direction.
in one portion and different on the other portion of the same system, which we suppose they shall be the same. And there, just I suggested when they're working with coils to have an idea about the direction of the flow in the coils, what you want of them, before to actually start wasting the time and material for working it out. Just to have a concept, an idea before just to do such a monkey see monkey does copy paste job. So that was the purpose of what I said yesterday. So not just stick to the mechanical forms, but to understand the flows of the plasma which are behind.
We were in particular looking at the split capacitor and trying to, let me see, I think we had the different winding on the coil, and we were trying to envision how that would affect the flow, the give and take of the plasma. There's the picture in question right there. Can that be rotated a little bit, John?
Can I throw a spanner into this work of his, what you're showing on the screen?
Sure, of course.
What about if you put a third coil in between these two?
Well, right now what Robert and I are doing, we're just generating models, and I know I understand what you're saying, but from what Sandor was saying, all we're doing right now is generating models, all the different configurations that you could have, so you'll have choices when you want to assemble these devices. But a third coil in the center of this,
How would you connect it?
exactly, how would you connect that? That's my that that would be my, what would be the purpose of the third coil other than
what is the purpose of that one? What is the purpose of you make it 4 coil on the same stick?
if you had 3 coils on the same stick, you could drive all 3 layers of your stacker unit with one device, I suppose.
Yes, but go further. What are you dealing with?
You can
You
deal with
want to
different
increase the
energies.
current flow in the same line, in the feedback or on the load side? Have you ever thought of that?
It strikes me that could be configured as, for lack of a better term, an amplifier.
more or less, because you take more of one side to the other. What about if you put 2 coils on this? What about if you put 4 coils on this? Same thing.
Exactly.
So it's just opening the eyes. We're looking at a lot of different ways of applying and using these things. In a coming time, I'll explain to you how you can put the plasma through another plasma without a matter condition. We're getting there. A lot of people are going that way. I explained and we left it. And Brad just came to touch it, but it's gone the other way, so we still have to learn from what he's doing. Is it better now? Yeah, it just dropped off. It's getting tired, it's dropping off. It's been used too long, I think. We can't afford it, it's too bad, the situation is bad. Anybody would like to donate a microphone? No, it's just that it keeps on moving. The position is, as I said earlier on, the time to teach the way we taught up to now is coming to an end. We discuss to inspire, and we've seen a lot of inspiration, a lot of people doing new things. I'm showing to some officials in the coming week the true flying system, gravitational magnetic flying system. We are set to do this, and strange enough, all of you can do it. We are to present the flight system to the to governments. It'll be done in the coming 3-4 weeks. We will not show in public, but we show the technology and we leave it with the governments to start as part of the peace process. The flight system will be shown to the government officials in the coming weeks. And I'm talking to world leaders, not to officials. We set it up. This is in the course to be done.
There's a Douglas here who says he's achieved lift of a small iron object, but I don't think that's the kind of lift that you're talking about. Maybe we should hear. Maybe we should hear more from Douglas.
Is that Douglas gentleman who's joined the Foundation Innovation?
I don't know. He just made a comment in the chat, and
if that's Douglas we're talking about, it must be the same gentleman.
He says yes, that's me. Do you want to speak? Perhaps
yes, of
promote
course.
him to panelist. And
we don't go for secrecy. If he speaks, he can speak, no problem. But Douglas, have you spoken to your boss?
You can unmute now, Douglas, if you want to speak there.
No,
there he is.
Because he works with Renan on the innovation side.
Oh, okay. Do you want to say something there, Douglas?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Can you show us, Douglas, what you're talking about that people can see?
I have it on a video that was listed on my YouTube channel, but it was up there a few days ago. It was a piece of iron ferrite. I think I explained to Renan about this, and I didn't know if I should. Anyway, the iron ferrite, accidentally, it was just a chip. I dropped it down in the nickel Gans, and I reached in and grabbed it with a pair of stainless steel surgical forceps, and I noticed an immediate attraction at an unbelievable distance, almost as it leapt up out of my solution to attract itself to the forceps. and I thought that was odd, being they're stainless steel. I know there's 3 different types of stainless steel, and each one of them have a different reaction. But I placed the object in front of a pair of needle nose pliers, which I know are iron, and there was a little magnetivity there, but nowhere near the attraction. So I tried it again with the forceps. It didn't work, and it went back to like 5 to 7 millimeters before it moved the object again. So I redid the process on the camera and dropped it in the solution, picked it back up with the forceps, and at that time started the procedure over again. And at this time, the forceps could make an interaction and make the piece of iron ferrite move in any direction I wanted it to at 20 millimeters away. But we're talking about a small piece of iron ferrite. I mean, it was just a small piece, but I get the concept of what it's going to be used for.
Okay. What is it still on your YouTube, or you taking it off?
Uh, uh, it's still on the YouTube. That particular one is there's nothing revealing to it. In other words, there's nothing that nobody can see that would cause an issue. It's just me with a micrometer and drew some lines out in millimeters out on a piece of paper and showed the interaction between the iron ferrite and the needle nose pliers, and also the forceps. It would have been one of the latest YouTube videos, because I won't be making any more videos since becoming a part of the foundation. So
If you wanted to, you could play your video on your screen and share it with us, if that's okay.
Yeah, Douglas, if you have a local copy, play that one rather than trying to download it again and upload it all at the same time.
Local copy. This is one thing I'm not good at. It's the computer thing. I can build them. I can tear them apart and internally build them. but as far as the knowledge it takes to get over to YouTube and to put that on this page, that I lack.
Can you provide the link to Rick? He can do that.
Yeah, Rick did it the other day. He pulled up one of my pages, Cast Iron 1969 at yahoo.com, or on YouTube.
Oh, okay, let me try to find it again there.
And it'll be the one labeled magnetic anomaly and nickel Gans. Mr. Cash, you still there?
Try to be. Yes.
Yeah, I because I've got a question regarding something making the CO2 Gans. I've used the same formula since day one, and I've got quite the production of some beautiful white CO2 Gans. A thought come to me last night to why not add CO2 to the mixture. So I made my own homemade generator of sugar, yeast, and water and rice, and generated my own CO2 mixture through tubing down into the same nano-coated plate with a zinc plate. And I have not yet produced any white substance. It is all a rusty color substance, but at the bottom of the hose where the CO2 bubbles are coming out, I have solid chunks of white mass that looks like CO2 Gans. And
no,
it's
you're producing zinc oxide, and partially you're producing calcium in your water.
but we need the zinc oxide, right?
Yeah, but what it is, if you, I'm gonna go back into something which is goes back to the physiology and into chemistry and biology of the whole process.
That's what we thought at first too, because we thought that the iron, that the zinc structure from the iron was coming through, but you can tell the zinc structure has not even been altered. It's still just as shiny as it was. There's no rust
Yeah,
coloration.
they don't see it that way, but on the other hand, when you get the white residual at the bottom, this, it's not much of it. You get a block of it, or a few
Yeah,
bits
yeah,
of
it's
it.
just right where I move the hose. Wherever I move the CO2 hose, I'll end up with a little white ball at the end of the CO2 hose.
Do you understand what the calcium is? What's the atomic mass of calcium?
I don't understand the atomic mass of it. No, I would have to
Can
look it up.
can we see your video and then we go?
Yeah, cast iron 1969.
So if you go back on calcium, go back on the zinc, go back on the CO2, and if somebody tells us what is atomic mass of the calcium on the periodic table.
I can give you zinc, but I don't have calcium down. I can pull up the chart fast though.
Uh,
40.
Yeah.
Calcium is
Okay.
40.
Armin, you're awake. That's strange. Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Uh,
I send you email.
I know, I've seen it. I didn't ignore it. I haven't had time to read it yet.
Okay, I've got the video set up
Okay,
here.
let's
Let
have a
me
look at the video.
do a screen share on that.
Yeah, it's not a very long one this time.
Should I play the? It's 6 minutes, right? 7 minutes.
Yeah, it's not a very long one. Yeah.
And I should play the sound in it too.
There's nothing there. I don't play music or anything, so it's me describing what's going on.
Okay, I should play that then, or else you can describe it, but I'll play that. Okay, you should be able to see it there. Let me zero it in on the live stream. Okay, let's go ahead with that.
Hey everybody, Cast Iron here. Hey, it's December the 16th, still 9 p.m. at night. I have just discovered this and I wanted to share it with you guys. Let's see if I can get down here to the macro level so you can see. This is scaled off exact 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25 millimeter lines. And this is a piece of the magnetron magnet. Now earlier, accidentally, I was messing around and dropped that small piece into the nickel Gans. It went straight to the bottom of it, and I have a pair of forceps here, hemostats, some of us call them. You can clearly see here, back up where so you guys can see. Forceps, hemostats, whatever you want to call them. And as soon as I got near the water, this thing leapt up out of the nickel Gans and attached itself to this stainless steel, surgical stainless steel instrument. Pretty amazing in its own. Now these little pliers here are magnetic. I will show you. And at the 20, the 25, the 20, 15, 10 millimeter, we still have no reaction. Just a tiny bit of a field reaction at 10 millimeters. We get up at 5, it'll attach itself. So you can see it's clearly magnetic. Now I may have to do this again and drop it in the Gans. It seems like I do, or it seems like I have the last time. So this may not do it this time. I may have to drop it in the Gans in front of you. and repeat the process. Okay, at 25 millimeters, 20 millimeters, 15 millimeters. Actually, it's a little bit. There's on the line, 15 millimeters. About 10. A little less than 10. Okay, now, then watch this. I'll drop this over here. And let me see. Y'all can watch me drop it in there. And let's see where it landed. I'll reach down here and pick this thing up. It attached to it instantly from out of the water. Okay, now I will dry it off here real quick. It and my tool, which is surgical stainless steel that I didn't even know had magnetic properties such as those. Anyway, and we'll put that right back on the line. And once again, we will come 25, 20, 15, and we are at 10. Nothing is happening this time at 10, as you can see. We get in closer, about 7.5, still nothing happening. We get in around 5, still nothing happening. Now then, $25, $20, $15. Usually around 13 is where I start seeing it move. It's around 13 right there. 10, 5, and it flipped. That's what it is. It's the poles. Okay, so there's the pole. That's the pole that's attracted right there. It's kind of hard to define the pole on this dang thing. It's a sliver. Now let's try this again. 25, so we know at 15. At 10 we had a reaction. Not much of a reaction. As I move it in, now it's starting to move at about 7, 8. You can see it's moving a little bit. We'll put it back there on the line, about 7 or 8. And did you see the thing move as soon as I just look here? All the way back here. I hope y'all are picking that up. Don't ask me to explain that other than somehow or another the Gans has made some kind of magnetic link between these two. This is, look here, all the way back at 20, if you go up above in spirals. And see back here at 20, you don't get jack shit, nothing. I just thought I'd share that with you. That was dropped in the nickel Gans. Just one of the other tests, another test I've done that just truly amazing. I'm going to have to do some more testing with more magnets and different strengths, neodymiums and other things. This is an anomaly that I don't think has been brought up yet. Anyway, peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Thank you, Mr. Kesh, and thank you all knowledge seekers throughout the world. Peace.
Okay, I think we'll stop the share there and go back Is there anything else you wanted us to see right away there?
No, that was about it on the magnetic anomaly. I've been concentrating on working on another project. I've still got the magnets out, but just haven't had time to play with them a whole lot.
Okay, thank you.
Well, it'll be interesting. Go back and buy the same kind of thing, 2 of them, and keep one away from nanomaterial, nano ganses, and one in, and you see if you have the same effect.
Yeah, that's I was using the needle nose pliers are iron, and the surgical stainless steel was stainless steel.
Depends who's made this steel and where it's made, if there's still some iron in it. Because stainless steel, it depends how they rolled it. So if you try to buy the same pair of, I think a lot of people can test this, and then we'll see what is the outcome. Because
Yeah, you could see if a magnet attaches to the pliers there, or not the pliers, but the pinchers, the forceps. Is if a regular magnet doesn't stick to it, then there's definitely something odd going on there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've had them for years. I use them in all sorts of applications, holding electronic devices, little small wires when I'm soldering them together. I've never noticed a magnetic reaction. That's why I was laughing. Not once have I noticed a magnetic reaction in any time that I've ever used those forceps. I have 2 pair. One of them's a little bigger, and they're both German surgical stainless steel. And I don't know if that makes any difference. Dad was a chemical engineer. He says there's 3 different types of surgical stainless steel, and he said one of them, does not have magnetic properties. So, I don't know. That's out of my element there.
Well, just take a magnet and try it on them and see one of the neodymium magnets and see if it attracts to it or not. That would tell you. Okay.
Me and Vince did this a year and a half ago with these Gans, dried them out and stuck stuff near them, got them to move around. You don't even need a stainless steel. Me and Vince were doing it with straws and wood, and you could see the interaction of the pieces of Gans would spin around or fly off or get attracted and repelled to different materials.
You could even use your hands. Your hands were able to do it too.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. It's basically the Gans that's creating the field there. Is that basically what you're saying? Because that's what I'm feeling too.
Yeah, Vince has a bunch of videos of them somewhere. We did.
And it's different than magnetic, because a magnet was making those, and Brett, what you're talking about, Brett and Vince, a magnet was making about the same difference as a hand. A hand could actually make more of a difference than a magnet at certain times.
Exactly. It contained both properties. It both attracted and repelled. Yes, exactly.
Okay, what else do we have here? Is there more comments about that? I've got Ali here. He's got his video about a maggrav star formation. Maybe we could have a look at that. Okay, let's see what we have here. Let me get that set up.
Before we go to that, can we explain why some of you get like blocks of white stuff at the bottom and you don't understand what it is? Because a lot of you have seen it. A lot of you report what's the difference between CO2 and zinc oxide.
Right, that's an important point that'd be good to clarify.
Okay. Yeah, let's look at it.
The way I understood you, Mr. Kesh, the zinc oxide was more of an orangish color
Zinc oxide is
No,
always white.
white.
Right. Zinc oxide, orange, you don't get a zinc oxide, it's white in the Gans state. The orange color is mainly CH.
Okay, so zinc oxide is white.
Yes, zinc
So it
oxide.
would be similar to the CO2 Gans then.
Yes, but it's a slightly different white.
Okay, because I did that with aluminum. I've obtained another one that's almost white,
Yeah.
but it's aluminum.
Aluminium is a gluey, gooey white. The one you get like a substance at the bottom when you make a CO2. Can I share the what do you call it? Okay. Okay, we're there.
Yeah, let me write these down.
So what we see, if you have a zinc oxide ZnO2, you have 60 plus 16 plus 16, which is 92. Sorry.
92.
Yeah, 92. If you look at when you have the zinc oxide and you have the plates inside, where you're creating a carbon, 40 plus 40 plus 12. These two become molecular molecular Gans of calcium plus the carbon, which that carbon becomes partially CO2, and this molecular calcium Gans is as a solid bit at the bottom of your body, at the bottom of your container. This is how calcium is created in the body of the man for the bone structure. Partially the appearance when the people who cannot digest milk or cannot take calcium in the body, or when you have calcium loss or a soft bone tissue, doctors look at the wrong side of the thing. You can compensate it with the zinc, and you can do that very, very easily with what do you call it, conversion of the zinc to calcium. This is what the oyster does. This is what the sea fish or what do you call it, shellfishes do. That's why they are so they absorb so much zinc from the bottom of the sea, because they go through the same process. It's never been understood, so we add to the knowledge. You understand now? They absorb the zinc, they store the zinc in combination with the presence of the carbon, which is part of their breathing system, which they use. They produce calcium, and that's how the shell of the seashell fishes are created. And that's why, for example, oyster has a white, what do you call it, shell. It's a calcium conversion where the CO2 which is created inside is a zinc, using zinc for creation of calcium, which becomes the shell of the fish. And that's how you produce these blocks at the bottom of your pot, wherever you have a zinc. Because you literally produce oyster shell, or the bone structure which we have in the body of the man. This has never been known. Now maybe you understand, adding to the knowledge. And we see a lot of people say, I produce zinc oxide. When most of the time, whenever you see solid bits at the bottom of your pot, you're producing zinc oxide, because the zinc oxide leads to the creation of the calcium, which is at the bottom molecular structure, Gans of calcium. That is actually sheets of Ganses of calcium, which is stuck as a molecular stage together. It's a nano layer. It's a true nano layer of material. The same as you make with the copper. Nano the copper. Those of you who index the teaching, maybe you would index this. That's how the shell of the animals are created. conversion of the zinc to calcium in the Gans state. Thank you very much for bringing it up. I've been trying to teach this for a long time and I keep on forgetting. I teach some people when I explain it. They say, whenever you see solid residual, you have used a high power, you did not put a filter like a LED light in it. So what you've done, I explained this before, what you have done is when you put your copper oxide and the zinc plate in, the current flow between the two, you tie it up together, 99% you're making zinc oxide. If you take a load and put a LED light or a motor, even if they don't light, you don't need to be seen lit, you're creating CO2. That's why, as I said before as well, in a couple of weeks past teaching, the new CO2 plates and the CO2 kits which are leaving the Keshe Foundation manufacturing Italy from next week, all have a LED light because it's a CO2 kit. If you want to produce zinc oxide, take the LED out and just connect two wires together to cross-talk connection. Wherever you see these residual solid bits at the bottom, you produce calcium exactly like oyster, like the bone of the man. One of the sections of the bone of the man, it's the way man creates bone structure, is the use of the zinc, because zinc is connected to the emotional part, and the bone structure producing a immune system is to guarantee the survival of the emotional part in the blood, which creates. So zinc is part of the essential part. It's a glue. It's a what is the word for it? It's an agent. It's a catalyst. When you create a field of the zinc for the creation of the calcium in the bone of the man, creating the bone structure, because it carries part of the emotion with it. Okay, can we see the next video?
Thank you for that clarification. Okay, let me just share here. Maybe I can go full screen.
Has he
Nope, that
opened
didn't
the
work.
stacker manufacturing system?
I'm not clear on what exactly he's doing right now. Maybe he can tell us. Hi, Ali.
Hi, Mr. Keshe. Yeah, this is the stacker that I built again, about 15 stackers in total. I was very busy last week, and I created a star formation, and I was experimenting with today, and when I dim the lights, I see, like, it has to be pretty dim, but I see shimmers underneath,
So
and
this is a update.
and I do see like shapes, and it's kind of like a thin glass that moves, so it's like a misty vapor around the unit when I move my hand in it or something. So it's creating this field around.
So let me stop you there. You have created the first lift system.
Yes.
You have created the first structure of the UFO, or what you call the spaceship. If you see the shimmer, it's just the way you stack them, the way it is. I explained that in the last teaching. You've done what I explained, stacking it the way it is, if you go on the last teaching of last week. So you have to adjust the field flow and you will see your UFO or your spaceship. Do you see the shimmer floating or vibrating?
There is movement, so when I look at it, I even see rotation of the field. So what I did, I made sure that I have different Ganses.
Congratulations, you have achieved.
So
you have achieved what we said. People who go, actually part of the structure we show lift the world leaders in the coming time is through this structure. And that's why I taught it this morning that way for people to understand. But I don't use the way you use the stackers. We are using 5, what do you call it, maglev systems.
Okay.
That's why I taught this last 2 weeks. When I told you put one stacker on top of the other, you've done exactly how it should be done. But control your energy, you will start seeing the first UFO. I told you somebody will do it before birth of Christ, and you're there.
It's interesting because today is my birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Try to, instead of powering it through power supply, try to power it through plasma capacitors, plasma batteries. Yeah, you will see the first UFO. And you've done it exactly at the right time.
Okay. And what I did, I made some powder from the quartz crystals, and I had 3 type of Gans. One was CO2, one was CHD, and the other one was the heavier one. I put the dust of the crystals, the dust of the quartz crystal in the Gans, and I coated the 3 stackers with the dust of the Gans and the quartz crystals. And then run some.
Can I ask you something? Do you have the system running now?
Yes.
Can we go on camera if you can show it? I want to have a look at something.
I have to either move my computer or bring it over here. I can bring it over here. Hold on.
You want me to give you a time and come back in 5 minutes if you want?
I can bring it in a minute. It's just gonna take a second. Hold on.
Because we're still seeing your video is coming from that.
Okay, hold on.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if your shimmer has a dome. If your shimmer has a dome, you achieved the first UFO structure.
Yeah, I looked on the bottom. When I look on the top, there is like kind of like a thin glass, and I can put my hand in through it, and the plasma goes into my. It gathers around my hand, so the palm of
Can you
my.
stop this video, please, Rick? Can you stop sharing the video?
Okay, let me bring it over.
You have achieved the construction of the first soft UFO, what do you call it, the spaceship. Spaceship.
Okay, I'll
and
go
it's
bring.
done by an Iranian. That's fantastic.
Awesome.
I'm sure you understand the meaning of it.
Awesome. So I'll go bring it over.
Share this.
Yeah, hold on.
I gave you the hints. I gave you the structure, and you.
Okay, let me start my video.
What do you want to do? Okay. Pardon? He keeps on falling off. Don't worry. He got too excited. Okay, is that okay now? You have to switch off your backlight if you want to see it. And we're seeing your hair and your headphone.
Okay, just hold on. Let me move this over a bit.
You have to get your stacker very straight. They're moving.
Yes, these are made with plastic plates, so they're not that. Just finished the stackers last night, the making of them. So
You are feeding the bases together, exactly.
So yeah, the power comes from the bottom. I have 3 sets of different Ganses. So it starts from the the heaviest Gans, goes to the middle level Gans, and then the
following everything word by word, huh?
Yes. And then again, heavier, medium, and CO2. And then at the top, it feeds the stacker here. On the bottom, goes to the top, then connects to the second stacker, goes to the top, and then feeds the bottom, goes to the top. And I put like a really low voltage, like maybe 2 watts or 3 watts, an adapter. And when I go...
How do you feed the center column, the center?
The center column, right now is plugged to my second MagRav unit. So I have another MagRav unit here. Let me...
Are you married or are you single?
I'm single.
No wonder you have time to make things.
Yeah. So I have another crystal 6 stacker here. Let me see.
We've seen this before, yeah.
Yeah. So this thing right now is plug feeding the other one right now.
You have achieved the first spaceship structure, and I congratulate you.
Thank you. I'm really happy.
But you have to know how to strengthen the wall of it.
Yes.
You have to understand how to. This is what I was just teaching this morning. You have to understand how to strengthen it in connecting one to the other. What I suggest you to do is instead of making all the copper oxide, zinc oxide, what do you call it, CO2 and CH3, make it slightly different. In the can you switch your light off? Can you make it a dark room? Is that
Yes. Yes. Sure.
Can you move your hand inside it?
That's a bit too dark, so I'm gonna open up another light here. Yeah. So that's the.
Can you tell me where do you see the shimmer, or is it, do you see it now, or?
It's it's really like little particles of light that come in around here, and when I go underneath, I see something above here, like around here, and I can even touch it. It's like a little glass thing that keeps moving, and I sometimes see shapes around, like even there's rotational fields that I see, and especially in the center, I see a big column coming out, like it's like a white column coming out of here in the middle.
You have achieved the production of the first spaceship system, and I congratulate you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kesh.
You have to know how to strengthen the center field, as we said, that it can spread between the three dishes. We will show this technology worldwide to the world leaders in the coming time. And this was part of the force field for bringing world peace forward. What you got to do, if you can, is to fix this structure solid. Fix it to a plate, that none of your plates move.
Okay.
And none of your plates move sideways.
Okay.
Fix it into the structure that it can be held. We do that with the power systems. I glue it to a board.
Okay.
And exactly what I showed in couple of Thursdays ago, and you followed it. The intention was to get you to show, somebody to show, and you've done it.
Thank you. And I was also thinking to maybe use different kind of coils, because now everything is copper. We want to have gradients of differences, so maybe
you
a
can
different.
do that, but what it is, a lot of field forces you don't see will move your plates and diffuses the field force.
Okay.
You understand? When you have a central column, when a slide move, you don't see it, and then it's a different shape tomorrow morning. They move themselves. You achieved the first UFO structure. I'll congratulate you.
Thank you.
It is a very joyful time.
Thank you.
Those of you, we promised by 2016 we'll do, and we're getting to what we promised. And you've done it because I told you, I inspire, I don't teach, but I show. And if you, what you got to see when you put your hand in or out, how you feel emotionally.
Yes, definitely. I definitely felt it the first time I was there. It was like I was buzzing inside this thing, and it wasn't even connected to anything. Like I was putting the plates one by one. The minute I stand on top of it, my whole body was buzzing, and it's just feel good to be inside it. Like when I
Yeah,
went
but
sleep.
change your power supply. Your power supply, which is electron vibration, is not strong enough.
Okay.
You have to change your power. Keep your power supply the way you want. Caroline, he's achieved UFO, or what do you call the spaceship. And add in parallel with it plasmatic batteries used to control it in a way that with one of your bases put, let's say, 4 batteries.
Okay.
With the next one do 5 batteries, and with the third one do 6 batteries, all in series, and the way you've done, but your batteries have to be in parallel with each other. You
Okay.
understand?
Yes.
And then what you got to do on every line which you gone around the 3 bases, connect one line from your magnetical side or from your gravitational side to the center column.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now you have connected the 3 bases in a series to each other, and you have connected the what do you call it, the central column to another power supply. You need to connect a gravitational and a magnetical, or as a feedback from the 3 bases to the center line where you are feeding from another supply power.
Okay.
You need this to be able to control. And one thing you gotta make sure is your systems are locked to the table. Make sure your systems are locked. That's why I said I am carrying with me 5 units for this purpose. We are showing to the world leaders that the time of change has come, and you showed it.
Thank you. And having said that, having the coils in the new format of 3-dimensional format, that would, I would say, if we have all 3 coils in that format, that would even be better, isn't it?
Yes, you're going too fast, but it's good.
Okay.
You're going too fast. The way you gotta do, you gotta make sure that your gravitational distance between your gravitational center rings is equal distance to the center. Your coils can touch each other, your gravitational coils can touch each other, but it's advisable to, when you do this one and then you do the next one, try to keep a gap equal between your gravitational coils too.
Okay.
That they do not touch. If your coil is 5 centimeters, I think if you're using a 82 turn coil, it should be 5.2 centimeters, something like this.
It's 89 and 144, so it's a golden ratio, 1.61. Yeah.
So your stackers have to open up slightly, that your plates don't touch. Make sure you have a feedback and start feeding, because with the control of the batteries on each base system, 4, 5, and 6, you create that variation in power that creates a rotation of the plasma. And by feeding from your magnetical to the magnetical and gravitational to gravitational central stacker, you create a balance lift. If you fit it to the table correctly,
okay,
if you get your spaces correctly, your table, first of all, you should see a shimmer, and then you should not be able to see your system anymore except light.
Okay.
You're very close to a complete flying system, but try, you're on the right path. It's just, you gotta understand, if any of these plates move, you lose your strength, and that's what happens most of the time.
Okay. One of the things I like is to you connect to my consciousness and use and move the unit with my mind. And the reason I use quartz crystals in the GANs was that the quartz is the bridge between your consciousness and the physical aspects or the plasmatic
You
field.
don't need to do it. You don't need to do it.
You don't need to do.
No, you don't. You achieved. You achieved what do you call it? The first step in the structure of what needs to be done. Correct it. Do it the right way.
Okay.
One of the things you will find out you got to do. I see you got wires touching everywhere. Make sure your wires don't touch the floor.
Okay.
All these things changes, and then you see I was doing, you was not doing. Your electric current wires should not be in line. They all have to come from underneath because you can put it away.
Okay.
Make sure the whole environment is in a constant balance of the what do you call it, electron fields, but not in a plasmatic field. And if you have seen the shimmer, this is what I told you. You will see a shimmer and then suddenly become solid. Possibly you will not see your plates. It is possible that your plates become invisible, but you see the thing. If you want to see, if it becomes invisible or it becomes a point that you don't see it, before you even starting any further, build yourself 4 capacitors in parallel and 8 capacitors in series. It's very important. You make 4 capacitors in parallel and 8 capacitors in series. Connect them in series to each other. And if you do not see the visible system, if you get to that point, which I hope you don't, because you'll have invisibility to it, you just put the 2 end of the wires, everything has to be nano-coated, in the zone where last you've seen your system.
Mm-hmm.
It will drain it, it reverses the power supply, current flow of the plasma, and it becomes visible. This is the only way you can suddenly make things visible.
Okay.
You need make yourself 4 capacitors block in parallel, the ones you have, and then 8 in series. Then you create a power flow, but you create a capacitance the same as what you have, and your system becomes invisible or visible. You can add to the power supply. You don't, if you build it, just get a long string of wire, you can poke into the shimmer you see.
Okay.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Kesh. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rick.
This is fantastic. This is what we said, you will see a shimmer first, and you've seen the shimmers with the stacker. This was the purpose. I thought somebody will do it, and you have done it, and it's nice to see been achieved in such a way. But you have to move back. If you put, or if you have I know you have, because I think in one of your videos you have one of these pens which shows the field, which lights on the tip.
We're talking about these pens?
Yeah, which lights,
Yes.
which buzzes up or lights up.
That possibly wasn't my video. I'm not sure that.
Because, oh yeah, Alex has one of these.
Yeah.
Get one of those and see how your field goes. We're going to disclose this. I think we have to do it. Is Alex on the background anywhere? Stay there, Adi, please.
Okay.
So, Alex, you want to go ahead?
Hello.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
Alex, the reason I brought you in here is what you are doing at home with the lights flashing. If you create such a position and put the end of your wires inside the washing machine and sink into different part of the plasma he makes, you will see the same light.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. Do you want to share with us what you've done?
It's not configured now because I was using the kitchen yesterday. So.
Would you like to explain what you showed me a couple of days ago?
All right. When you plug your appliances to the MAGRAV system, even when the system is switched off, it has a lot of current in it. Like if you put
It's a plasma current, not electric current.
oh yeah, if you if you connect one wire to your appliance, for instance, like a washing machine, and then at the other end of the wire, you get a lot of current. I use that to
Let's say to the wall of the machine, huh? Not to the machine itself.
okay,
Not
yeah,
to
to
the
the
plug of
yeah,
the machine. Just connect it to anywhere to the body of the
yeah, to the
machine.
body of the machine, yeah, yeah, and then you connect the other one to the earth. You get pulsing light, pulsing current. I've been trying to find out how to regulate the current, but it's really not possible. Mr. Cash told me to add some capacitors, which I did, but nothing changed.
Yeah, but you have to add enough till you reach the point.
I have to add enough capacitors.
Yeah, you have to change the AC to a DC flow.
Okay, okay. But sometimes it treats this as well. It depends on what part of the machine you
Yeah, these are they're fairly big, large LED bulbs. Three of them, huh?
yeah, yeah.
How can you tell us what's the power of them?
It fluctuates. I think it's between them 120 volts to
No,
AC.
no, the power. What does it say? How much light? How much energy?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's on the reading on the meter, it's 120 volts, and then it goes down to about 80 or 86 volts.
No, I mean on the light bulbs you bought, you use. What does it say? What's the power of them?
Oh, it's 12 volts, 12 volt DC.
LED lights.
Yeah,
Three
LED
of
light, and then they have lots of them in it. It's stack light on the LED. I'll make a video of it. I'll put it online and so everybody can
how
see.
many of them using? Three of them.
Sometimes I use four of them, but if I use four, one of them goes up or just come on lightly. You know.
This is to show that for the first time. Maybe you understand why I said to you to use the capacitors in 4 and 8.
Yeah,
That we don't need to connect to the system, to the MAGRAV system to use this energy.
yeah,
Because it's plasmatic, it flows. So in a way, what you add to the body of the freezer and to the earth side, that's why he has a floating AC, because it connects it to the sink. But if you connect it to another part of another system, this is kilowatts and kilowatts you can use, which is a plasmatic, and you have free energy.
yeah. That's true because
Well,
even the
this,
sorry, all the lights
let me explain. Let me explain, Alex, please.
okay.
Those of you who've been looking for power supply free energy from the MAGRAV units after the MAGRAV, this is where it comes, or before the MAGRAV when you power it. You do not connect to the power unit. You connect to a power unit which is already supplying appliance or another unit, and then you connect that unit, because now you use total plasma condition. And whatever you use in the plasma condition, because it doesn't go through your meter, is a free flow energy. This was part of the adding of the knowledge, will come next step in about 60 days for those who have started putting like 400, 500 watts after the system and 2 kilowatts before the system. Now you have to run this for about 60 days, maybe 3 months. And then if you connect into the appliance which you put after the system, and connect to a line before the system or earth it, you get an AC supply or a DC high voltage for your system to use, and anything you use on this side is free. It's too early for us to release it because none of you have gone through that process. The reason Alex is getting this is because he's already been using this for nearly 6 months in his house. Everything in the house is plasma flow, and very soon it should be a point that you don't need to have any more, what do you call it, wire into the system. I've told Alex what to do. Hopefully he gets a chance to do it and tell us the next week or two how to make the wireless systems from your power supply. your maglev systems can be used as a power supply, and let Alex do his work. He knows what he got to do. Have you managed to do it yet, Alex?
I ordered for the equipment, but I'm still waiting for it to come. So as soon as it come, I'm gonna do that.
Am I gonna see that surprise you're gonna show me yesterday?
Maybe.
Maybe. No problem. Thanks very much. It's a pleasure to work with you, Alex.
All right,
Please
Mr. Ken.
understand.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is where now we come with the transmission of the total work through plasma. As I said to you, we gradually go, but we allow people and knowledge seekers and what I call innovators of the Keshe Foundation to come forward with their own way and add to the knowledge as it builds up. The system which we see here on the table with Ali, is the first what you will see as a system. A lot of you will try this and will fail because you don't follow the process the way it was said. Some of you will succeed but halfway, but collectively we all will achieve it. This is a victory, or is a success for humanity. That is not one of us, but all of us will achieve this. At the foundation we have access, but people like Ali and the others who are around have already gone to the phase of producing these things. One of the ways in the future, I show you a three-dimensional without the two coils. We have already produced innovation section around August, July of this year, and we will show it. It sits in Philippines. We bring it to be shown now that it's been brought in advance so much. It's a combination of the both gravitational magnetical within this one structure. And it's been made by our people in the Philippines. It's sitting on the table. Now it's time to bring it on the table, bring it out and show it. What you got to do, Ali, is make sure the fields within this system feed themselves.
Okay.
Don't allow any leakage. Connect your gravitational magnetical on both stackers. If I was you, I connect the gravitational of all the three trays at the bottom to the gravitational of the bottom plate.
Okay.
And connect the magnetical part to the top of the plate we see on the top.
Okay.
Have you connected the two stackers on top of each other, or is it just free from each other?
No, the two stackers are connected. So the bottom one goes to the second one, to the third one, to the up, to the up, to the up. So all of them are connected in series up. So minus to plus, minus to plus, minus to
I think
plus.
it would have been advisable to keep the three stackers separate.
Okay, so we'll just do 3 by 3.
3 by 3. Now that you have connected the magnetical from the three plates and the gravitational from the three plates to the bottom and the magnetical to the top, you create that flow you're looking for. You should see the top of your system create a whitish silverish glow.
Okay.
On the top of the top stacker, you should see, and then you should see, what you will see is that this white silverish glow will move away. It's like a bubble. You should see a bubble which comes up about the same distance as one of the stackers, and then it will create in one sweep. You see a flash of a light. It just comes like a flash of light, will connect with the three base bottoms, and you'll see your UFO or your spaceship. You have to see that floating bubble up, or if your system is made in the way that I showed in the pictures, the floating bubble sits in the middle between your what do you call it, fifth and the sixth. If you look at it, then you'll have a problem. If you do your stacker solid, I wish I could send you, um, I tell you what you're gonna do, Ali. You get my, hold on. Is Ella on the line? Oh, we have Ella anywhere today? Vince, do you see her in the background? Or Stanley?
No, I don't see them.
We don't see them. Okay, what I'm gonna do, Ali, I'm gonna get the factory to send you 10 boxes, the blue boxes, that you can build your stackers solid into the boxes.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kish. I highly
Yes, you got
appreciate
to
it.
go to Ella and give your address to Ella, and we send you the boxes through.
Okay.
Is
Just send your
Francois?
address. Just send it. Communicate with me through Webmaster, please, Ali.
Wait,
Okay.
Alex. Sorry, Vince. Is Francois or JF online? Are they part of the listening? I think maybe JF is not listening. If I think Francois or JF have about 20 boxes. They can give you in Canada a few pieces.
Yeah, we can work on that in the background too,
Yeah,
Mr.
work in
Kish.
the background because 20
Yeah.
boxes has gone to JF for the other tests he's doing. Ask them to give you the boxes and put these plates, these rings in the box. Then they are solid. They don't move.
Okay,
And
thank you very much.
you're quite welcome. Congratulations. I salute you.
Thank you. Peace to this planet and to the whole universe.
Sort of
Just
the
be
light
careful.
before Christmas instead of the night before Christmas. Quite the opposite.
Don't forget the light of Christmas came from the Iranian culture.
On the day before Christ's birthday. Kind of a spoiler. That's interesting. Mm-hmm.
That was supposed to. We are there. We should be able to do it. I think there are units in Quebec with Francois or with Jeff. If you are in Canada, you can literally rapidly get it to each other till we send some more to JF. We're gonna announce as part of the structure of this process in respect to our work in the coming days, which is what now, what do you call it, Ali has shown. We will make announcements in this respect as part of the world peace process and in interaction with governments. We are very much on course. We do not disclose anything anymore the way we used to for people to cause problem. But we are on our word, and this confirmation independent by Ali needs, as I said, it needs a lot of very, very fine tuning to get it. And you will see it. Your cups, your plates, the way they're stacked, they destroy a lot of your fields. That's why your field, your what do you call it, the shimmer you see is not so strong.
Yes.
You have to get it perfectly right.
Are those styrofoam plates or are they plastic?
Yeah, the one that you buy at Save on Foods, and you just regular plates.
Yeah, but you have to stack them very, very perfectly correct, and you have to make sure your center fields are all the same.
Okay.
When you use stars, because no, the units we have, you need the second generation of the plates, because this new generation, the present generation is a very thick wall between the coils. You have to turn it upside down or cut the center off and put the thing on it. I've done that in the factory a couple of weeks ago. When you get it, if you have a problem to do it, contact me and then I'll tell you how to do it. You got to clip the middle plates out, and then you have the ring to put it in a position, and you all need to do is to string it, and it holds exactly in the same position. because we
Okay.
have changed the configuration of the plates in the new coil coming out in January. By the way, while we're on the line, all the systems which we have sold or has been ordered has been manufactured and have left or are leaving in the few days, even between Christmas and New Year. The factory is open, we are not shutting down, to make sure we have no orders outstanding. All the power units, car units have, what do you call it, have, they're just waiting to be shipped. It's just literally technical problem inside the labeling of the boxes and packaging, which will be completed by the end of the year. Hopefully we should be able to do. There is no orders outstanding, thousands of the orders which you receive, hundreds of orders we received, and whatever for the power unit or for the car units, should be zero order backlog in December, end of December, and all the units which is going to charity organizations which we committed ourselves to Palestinian government and to the African nations will be completed by hopefully end of January. So we will release the number equal to sales, as we said, to the Palestinian government and to the African nations and to the Italian population in a very random manner. On the other hand, I should say, I forgot I should have started it. Today is the day before Christmas. I congratulate and wish you all the best. And maybe we have received our presents for the Christmas with what we've seen, with what's in front of us. As I said, it's in the Holy Scripts. 2016 will be the change, and we've seen the change before 2016 setting on the table. The wisdom comes from within, not from outside, and it's beautiful that it's come within the structure of the Keshe Foundation and the people who work and that so openly show it. If you can place this unit on a transparent plastic, that if you manage to get it lifted from its position, you will see the star formation light underneath very, very easily. And the plastic will allow you to see it. I congratulate you in a very deep way.
Same here. I send my love to you and to everybody on this earth and everybody in the universe.
Just carry on the same way. Just you have done a perfect job. You have to just balance it. If you photograph these shots, you see your plates change position because they're loose. You
Yes.
have to lock it in. You have to lock them in. Get polyester pins and don't go and lock and tie them up, but like put 4 pins around, drill it through, that it just holds them in their position. You know these plastic see-through pipes, that it holds them. Do the same thing with your stacker, and I'm sure if you get it right, if you haven't interfered with anything in a way, you should be able to show a full shimmer. There is a problem with this. I know I can see it to reach full what I call a spaceship shape. But make sure all the time you keep this system off the ground.
Okay.
Keep this system off the ground. If you keep it to the ground level, you will not see such an effect. When you put it on a transparent plate, make sure the plate doesn't sit flat like this on the table. It has 2 or 3 legs to make them minimize any connection. What you gotta do, keep a distance measurement and try to leave a radio very near to this. And listen to the radio. Constantly listen to the radio. It tells you, you hear a break in the noise, the sound goes down, the radio goes silence, it means just move out of the room in a safe distance, because the field start building up. And it builds up very rapidly, and the system, you will see the structure of the spaceship. But I've done this many times, and leave a radio very close by. People who work in this on Saturn, they know what I'm talking about. Armin and Mark can tell you. When the noise of the radio goes is when your field expansion comes, but with this system you have a rapid expansion, and you will go very, very fast in flying.
Okay.
Yes, just get yourself a, where you need to listen to FM and AM.
Okay.
You need two of them. One gives you the indication which way you are going.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kish.
You've done exactly what was said, and this is absolutely perfect. Just don't forget to add your capacitors. Listen to this presentation 3 or 4 times before you start working. Get everything correct. If you had Jean-Francois online, we could have got you. Give your address to what do you call it, to
Webmaster.
Webmaster, and we'll get you somehow these units to be done. But our units for these things needs a lot of modification, a little bit of modification, but it locks in your system. It locks the system in. It doesn't get it moved. It goes into the box, into Magram unit. Arman, are you online? I know you're online.
Yes.
Have you transferred the units which are supposed to go to Department of Energy, or is still with you?
No, still with me after.
How many do you have with you? 4 or 5?
No, I have 2.
Yeah, you had 3, and you took 2 before 5.
No, 2 I had. One is in
the factory.
Factory. And
Okay, no problem. No, it's just I wanted to see how fast we can get him some units to lock it in. Oh, it's okay. See what you can do. If you have a problem, the guys in Canada, I know there's 20 units on the way, or if they have received it to them.
Okay, that would be excellent.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Fantastic.
Thank you.
And before Christmas. You're welcome. Any other thing we can see?
Yes. Sorry, who's there?
It's Bernard Langlois.
Oh, hi, Bernard.
How are you? I might have a system to show here. I've been holding off on it. I didn't want to confuse everything, but it is pertaining to the same principles that Mr. Kesh has brought up. If we've got time, maybe I could show it.
Yes, please. Why not?
Hi, Mr. Kesh. How are you? Hello to everybody.
Do you want to share with us?
Show your video then, and we can put it on.
I've got some photos and stuff. I've got a new Mac here. I'm getting the hang of things, but I'm still trying to work. You might have to help me along. I think I can show my screen.
Yeah, you might not want to show your whole screen. You might want to show just the window, depending on what's on your screen, because it will show everything on your screen.
It's just a picture window that'll show up, and I'll just scroll through and click on what I want to show.
Okay.
All right. I've got a couple short videos, and I've got a few pictures to show, and I can explain it as we go, I guess.
Sure. Just click on your share screen.
Hold on a minute here. I just the whole thing covered up everything. I'll hit share screen there. All right. You see this?
No, we still haven't seen anything. It's something with a little round thing on it, which is a head of a man, but that's always. Ali is still on, I think.
I've got.
You should be able to share screen, and a window will come up with a selection. and then you have to
Okay,
select.
screen share. I'll hit screen share here.
Should be
Okay.
the green button on the bottom of the Zoom window. Is that what you mean?
I've got share video. Okay, share screen. I've got it here.
Okay.
Okay, now I'll try to see if I can put my pictures up here. Oops, they're up. Can you see? It's something behind it.
Instead
Can't
of
see anything.
oh, here we go. Now we're starting to get
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it's coming up. Okay.
Okay, cool. I've got
What are we looking at? Which one?
Oh, these are just different things I've registered. This would be the unit here. It's got music behind it. I can't get my pictures into another department in this computer yet. I don't know, Mac, you know.
You should be able to just.
I can mute music.
You could.
I'll show you the video first. I've got a video up here. Maybe we should go through that quickly.
Okay.
It just gives you an idea. It shows the unit working. It's functioning, and it has been for probably 18 days now, hooked to the house.
And what reduction do you see?
I've been keeping tabs on my smart meter and stuff, and yeah, things have gone down considerably. I don't know. I think my. Excuse me.
How much?
In 24 hours, there was probably about 0.87 on the meter, and it's down to 33 in the span of 17 days. But I think what's showing is what.
You're in North America or you're in America?
I'm in Canada, Eastern Canada.
Okay, North America.
Yeah.
You are on the two-phase system.
Yes, right.
That's why we said you get 66%, and that's all you're going to get. You get 60%.
Yeah, but meter, I think my smart meter reversed polarity or did something, but they caught on to it. And at one point, it dropped 400 points one night, and the next morning it started climbing again. But what happened here is I think what's showing on the meter now is what's going out into the grid. This is what I think is happening. I've been doing some more.
The positions, I've seen something very interesting. You will see this is what it is because you are pushing on two phases.
Yeah.
You are forcing the third phase to accept.
Right.
Which is, this is in Europe, you are single phase connections online. In the two phase, you are forcing the two phases are forcing the third phase to reverse. It's possible. This is something we've seen that in the factory in innovation, and they could understand why one of the phases is zero.
Well, now I'm getting charged for what.
Pardon? You're getting charged what?
Now what's happening is I went online to check my readings when it was close to just for my bill, and there was a bit of confusion. It was zero balance, and nothing would come up. And then finally, I got my bill. They had a little note on it: if you've disconnected, done construction or something wasn't adding up in their department. But they finally billed me for what I had been pushing into the meter, because my meter is just shows what's being drawn in, but what's happening, it's showing what's going out. This caused some confusion.
So they're taking power from you.
And they're charging me for it. They're charging me for what's showing on the meter, but what's showing on the meter, I'm pretty sure is what I'm putting into the line.
Right.
So,
but is there any difference between it?
Oh yeah, I've done some tests with it here. I back off on a few things, and I even unhooked the system yesterday, and what was showing on the meter went down to just a trickle. So that means I wasn't putting anything into it, but my load in the house was still running continuous.
Okay, I'll tell you what is happening. You have that in the two phase. You're going to see more stranger thing in the three phase. I'm going to explain to you something which we have explained to the energy suppliers. That's why they are very happy with us. But I let the cat out of the bag.
Can we see a picture there, Bernard?
I'm going to let another cat out of the bag. All them transformers on the telephone poles, probably closer to my house, they're all going to be nano-coated. Those will all be little reactors, I think. The big
but let me explain to you something very interesting.
Yes.
Can we go? Do you want to show something and then I explain?
Okay, I'll show maybe a little explanation. Working unit here. There may be some music. Come on, I'll try to kick it off.
Yeah, take the music off. We don't want to pay a penalty for you and get distracted.
No.
Yeah, please turn that off right away. Yeah. You don't turn.
What do we? Oh.
Okay, I'll have to scroll through all this stuff here till I hit the right one. Okay.
Is that your stacker?
Yeah. There's music behind it. I'm going to explain. I have coils all the way around it. They're in star formation, and that piece in my hand is what feeds the bottom. It's a nano paste in there with foil and stuff, and I've got other coils in series wrapped around it with the plasma batteries also. These coils here that you see at the bottom are in star formation here. And I've got one big plasma battery in the center. And there's a coil directly up top over that. But that plasma battery it's connected to the bottom coils. The system feeds in from the top and starts at the bottom star formation coils. Those are positive, negative flow coils. Where my thumbs are.
What does this system do?
It produces the power that I'm talking about. Those are the power batteries. I've got 6 of them on top. They're tied in series together, but they're tied in parallel when they hit the bottom of the system. It's a bit complicated, but I put the theory to use here and it works. Actually, I think it's quite powerful. I'm not sure how much it puts out, but I don't know if I can unmute this quickly. This is just hooked to the battery setup right now. I had it 3 weeks on the battery.
Ding us for music and stuff. What you can do is screen share without the audio. Is one.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll just explain. That's just a battery charger. It's computerized. It runs on its own. Right now, I've got the system tied into itself. It's strong enough to feed itself. Plus, I'm running about 800 watts on that. And there was only 500 watts showing on the inverter. So I was getting basically 300 watts. This is all in the testing stage when I was getting the system going. I left it here for 3 weeks before I tied it to the house grid. 40 watts. Hold it there. Thanks. Okay, well. These are all other systems. Okay, so basically we've seen this, so I've got some pictures if you want, I can show. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. I've got a few different kind of photos here. I'm just trying to load this computer up here. I'm sort of picking my way around it. Trying to put stuff into it. I can't seem to get it out of this section here with all the music. I'll try this and I'll shut the music down, but it shows in more in detail how I've constructed this thing. Okay, hold on a minute.
Can you stop that music, please? It's okay. Can you stop the music there?
I've tried here. I can't mute it now.
It's okay. It's okay. Stop it because it can cause us problem. We don't want a problem. Try to make the music off it and let us use it.
What you can do is on your screen shares to not select the audio feature, and that
that's
might
an idea. Hold on.
that might help.
See if
You might have to
the
you might have to reselect your screen share without the audio feature.
I just lost everything here, Rick. Can you still see my screen?
Yeah, we see your screen.
Your music is safe, it says. Your Mac is safe. Oh, you're a Macintosh man.
Yeah, I got hacked in and they just burned my other system with everything they do. I was under attack.
You get hacked.
I was under attack for quite a while here with the stuff I was posting.
Oh yeah, it comes all. We know where it comes from.
Anyhow, now they're a little bit more difficulty getting in and things are encrypted.
So what you have to do is reshare your screen.
Yeah, let me
stop the screen sharing and reshare it.
You get if you okay, let me explain something how you get hacked, because a lot of people are getting this problem. It's coming through your Skype. It's done professionally. It's done through Belgium and Germany, and we know who is doing it. They are doing it. Do not use your Skype for communication on your laptop. You can do the Skype on your mobile. They can't get Android mobile. They can't touch at the moment. But this is done by it's professionally. They come and send you something by Skype, and they come in.
Well,
it's done through Belgium and Germany.
They got in my other computer that way, and they pretty much really nasty virus. But I Skype. I don't even have Skype anymore. I've got this live stream here, and
yeah, it's a Skype. They use it. It's been it's the same thing as they damaged our system. It's done through the same people. We know, everybody knows who they are by now.
I steer away from them.
Especially in Germany, they are hackers, and in Belgium are part of the Belgium structure of the government to damage as much as they can. And we've seen how they've done and what they do. But it's finished now. They can peddle as much as they like. The what do you call it? Let them waste their time and whatever they like. We'll make announcements in respect to these things very soon. And I think just the only thing we advise you, do not use Skype, do not post anything with the Keshe Foundation with the Skype connection on your mobile. They come and destroy everything. It's done by the people who know, we know who they are. We're in the process of getting them well looked after by the people who understand the law in different countries. But I do apologize. We got the same situation. Most of us got done. It's strange enough, only Keshe Foundation, people who work around the foundation, SSI, and people post about foundation get done. It's a very nice job they're doing it for. They get very well paid in their accounts in Swiss banks and in German banks, but the German governments and the international banking system is watching what they are doing, the ones who are doing it, because the money is going literally in a very, very backdoor way. I have a very good news for you. If I can add, Keshe Foundation pen and the pad has been certified as a medical equipment.
That's fantastic.
We get a medical certificate. It's been done yesterday, and we've been given medical equipment 2. If they would have given us 1, we would not be able to advertise. But because of his work, he's gone into certification 2. It'll take us a few more days to to all the final bits. We have to make a lot of paperwork in the background for it. It's been recognized as a medical health system, not as an alternative. It's been certified as medical tool, which allows us still to advertise, but not the way we would have gone public with it. But we really, yes, yes, we have to we have received, we had to negotiate to bring it down to 2 than as a full medical system, because then we would not, nobody could have advertised to sell it or to be on the website. That we had to come through a standard. You cannot advertise for aspirin. You cannot advertise for anything which is medical one. And we've been lucky, and we managed to negotiate, our team negotiated with the health authorities and certification that is being recognized. Hopefully, when we release the goods in January, Caritas Health CE certificate as a medical equipment. And I congratulate Keshe Foundation team in the factory. They're working very hard to get this done. And the way, because we done the pins and the pads different way than it was done in China. It's done totally on the European regulations. The cloth is European regulations. The material has been changed to be within the regulation. We had the CE certificate to be out, but our team, our management team, and the new directors we brought in, they decided we are doing such a fantastic thing. They tested it, and we've been given health certificate too, which means we can sell it as a medical equipment, but there are some restrictions in advertising it which we have to follow. We are our lawyers. As I said, we have internal lawyers in the company now. They are seeing how and the way we can advertise. We had to remove some wording from the structure, and it'll be the, what you call, the leaflet which accompany it will certify it as a health equipment, and it's not for alternative or whatever. We will see how far we can go, but within the next 3-4 weeks, all should be tied up somehow, and you'll buy a health equipment certified CE health, or authorized by the EU under the EU regulation. And it's brought a lot of restriction on advertising, but on the other hand, with them moving it to 2, it still allows us to advertise, but we cannot do it. If they move it to 1, there is a possibility that the pad will move into section 1 in the next 12 months, 18 months, if they decide to do it, but at the moment we do not see it that way. But the pen has been marked for total equipment, health equipment, with the certification. It's not the way you do it, it's not the way it's been done by a lot of people. I have modified it to be in that way, and hopefully we should be able to deliver this. We have shown it. I have it here. I'll show the box to you. Just 1 second, please. Yeah, we're going to show it to you. Caroline has it here. This is exact copy of what you're going to get. We had to modify the tip to stand within the regulation of the health equipment. So it cost us a little bit more. We had to change the, what do you call it, the casting because of the regulations. And the pad has passed full certification. It's just that we have to.
You want to start your video there, Mr. Keshe? Or?
It's just I'm waiting for Caroline to bring it for me. We are giving these units as a gift as part of the World Peace position. This is the, what do you call it, as I've shown this before. We even had to pay for the boxes to be redone because of this certification. This is the way you will receive it. We had to change the tip for health regulations, this tip was changed. It's slightly different to comply with what we've been asked to do. The ultimate shape and the size is this. The tip had to be slightly changed because it's just 17,000 euro we had to pay to be within the regulation. This is the box you will receive it. We've shown this before. It's white in the background. It's a blue background. This will be white, and the blue sits in the white embedded with a slight, as I said, a slight conversion to
Yeah,
hold everything.
it's beautiful. Beautiful. The
But this
box
box
is
is
important.
everything we do from Keshe Foundation manufacturers has to be within the standard. Now we only follow the boxes to be the presentation, the documentation, the certification. We do not put anything out without certification. And on the other hand, we have received a huge support from the governments to launch these materials, and we announce in that respect in coming days a major breakthrough in this way, because instead of trying to do it through, we even with the power units, we took a time, we redesigned, we reloaded. Now again we redesigned the power units. The power units which come out in January are different than the ones which are released now. We have no, what do you call it? Every unit which has been sold is been manufactured and is in the factory. It's just a matter of shipping them out. All the tracking numbers are getting issued on a daily basis to the dispatch. We're holding as usual. The only thing dispatch will start doing now that the units have passed what we thought will be the blockage in the postage, you will receive an email from the dispatch that your material has been shipped. We even have a problem today. A huge system of ours has gone missing, and we are watching to see how it appears, where it disappears, how they tampered with it. We chose the time of launch, the dispatch, to be within the highest traffic Christmas time, that it cannot be, we lose as little as possible. But anything you paid for, anything you have done, is literally manufactured, and it's just a process of literally billing and sending it out, which we have a limit on what we do because of the security checks. But in the coming, even some of you today or yesterday or tomorrow will receive a note from the Foundation dispatch. Your system has been dispatched. We've seen some scaremongering by people putting on the fire and whatever. These are the same people as hacking the systems. It's a German group. But I have to tell you one thing. I know Kevin Devener and the German group are sitting. Keshe Foundation Germany has been registered on Tuesday as an independent registered company in Germany. Keshe Foundation manufacturing is done so, or will be done in next, already has been done or will be done next week. That Keshe Foundation Germany is a living entity legally in Germany. All those who tried very hard to stop it, I do apologize for your loss of effort. Congratulations to Eric and Kevin Damener and Richard, who worked very hard. Keshe Foundation Germany structure is specifically built for Germany. I signed the documents last week, and Keshe Foundation manufacturing Germany is already been, I have signed all the document authorization for its establishment, and it will be operating sometimes in February, hopefully. And they are pulling on the back of Arman and Sylvester to structure the production and nano coating and the teaching team. We will start manufacturing in 6 to 7 countries by February. And in that way, the number of documents which is going to be released hopefully by Arman this week, we had to modify the company agreement because Arman found a couple of flaws into it, or not flaws, something was missing. It's been hopefully done, he was working on it, we'll release it today or tomorrow. Any of you who applied for to become manufacturer and your request has been done, we sent you the documents and they will do the security check in the background. The those of you who received the form to register Keshe Foundation in your countries, we have built that especially for this purpose. Is a dual way to allow the maximum benefit to your nation. And as I said, congratulations, Germany. We are authorizing the establishment of the Keshe Foundation Bulgaria as an independent, because the last of people we signed the agreement with, they have not done their job. Keshe Foundation Bulgaria is open for establishment. We have not heard from the people, we requested from them, and they had a mandate, they never used it. So Keshe Foundation Bulgaria can be produced because it's a default on behalf of the people who set it up with us to start the Keshe Foundation manufacturing. We did not get any response on our request, so we assume that they will not go ahead and will not do it. Legally, we are not bound to any of such activities. So Keshe Foundation Bulgaria is open for registration by those of you who are opening the manufacturing. The structure will be the same as the rest. Keshe Foundation Manufacturing Japan has been registered in Tokyo. We have gone into the phase of pre-production in conjunction with one of the major world production companies. They have started the pre-testing, and the production should start in the next few weeks. We will, as we said, will support heavily the Keshe Foundation China as the major cooperation. We will send documents to the Chinese governments for our investment into the Chinese Keshe Foundations, collectively dividing across, which means we finance Keshe Foundations in China directly from the Keshe Foundation headquarters in equal basis if they need. If they do it themselves, we will not do, because we see China as part of our support for Africa. The other point which I have to inform you is that Keshe Foundation as a spaceship organization has been separated from the Keshe Foundation FSSI. We have a Keshe Foundation website. We have a Keshe Foundation SSI is the teaching division. It arrived at last. Thank you very much indeed. Yeah. And the Keshe Foundation as a spaceship independent institute has been set up. So KFSSI is and has become independent from SSI. The Spaceship Institute has become, as it was set up, spaceshipinstitute.org has received its own website. Is it up, Vince? Has it been separated?
We were waiting for the registration to come through on the other site.
It's okay, you can go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, you can go ahead. I've received the document. This is still with the same house, within the same house. It's just changing holding site.
Right, we need to work on that in the background then.
Okay, you can release it. So now Keshe Foundation, as of more or less this week, we have a keshefoundation.org. We have KFSSI, which is a teaching arm. And as I said earlier on, in respect to SSI, as I said to presentation of Ali, that what we are about to do, spaceshipinstitute.org is established as a spaceship program. you will understand the reason we done it. So it carries its own logo, which is the blue circle logo on its own. KFSSI stays with the blue logo with a KF with a circle around it. I've just received text from our lawyers that the registration is completed. So we have 3 sites. KFI SSI, which is a teaching arm headed by Marco. Keshe Foundation, as a mother, as a parent, stays the same. And from now we have spaceshipinstitute.org as a space program, separated from teaching and separated from the foundation. This is done because our collaboration with the governments in announcing the establishment of no border, no nation, one country, to develop the space program as an independent spaceship. If we achieve what we are working on, in a coming time we'll announce one of the major cities as a spaceship city. Which means, where as you have like Cape Canaveral as part of the NASA, Keshe Foundation has found home for its space program in collaboration with the government. If we manage to sign the documents in the next 2 to 3 months, we will have a space launch center within the World Organization, which means we had to do this to separate the Keshe Foundation and the Spaceship Institute as organization devoted to a spaceship program. And if we receive, we hope, one of the things we're hoping to even receive it during the holidays, that we will announce a city which will be based at, we operate through, and will be our home for launches. This has taken us a long step, but now that the site has been done, it's not that say we just talk. As you heard, the site is ready. The spaceshipinstitute.org as an independent space program is more or less launched. We will have a home base, we will have a home launch base, we have a home organization base. We will be hopefully receive the support, and if we receive the agreement of a couple of more organizations, the blue flag stays as the Spaceship Institute, as not a KFSSI. KFSSI is collaboration between the foundation, the work of the foundation, which comes through the teaching as one of the 5 beneficiaries of the 19% of the income of the foundation income. And then the Spaceship Institute, which is part of the second 9, will come into operation. So we start going the direction we came, and in so many ways, once the webmaster team put it on, you can, from the Keshe Foundation website, go to KFSSI or go to Spaceship Institute on its own. I would like to thank those in the governments and authorities behind it who are listening today for the support. We asked them to listen, and we kept it to the back end. The Keshe Foundation Space Institute, if we manage to finalize the paperwork without any interference, will have a home base city launch. And the name of the city will call the Home of the Spaceship program. We have a very good backers. Hopefully they can complete their problem, and then we can go ahead with what we are planning to do. I think we are long enough into this. It's nearly 12:30.
Yes.
We can call it a day for today.
Let me finish,
Merry Christmas.
Mr. Keshe, let me finish with a comment from somebody from the last workshop. Shweta Anwar says, Dear Dr. Keshe, in this path of knowledge, we are bounding ourselves with the infinity loop as you are lighting us all together like a unit with the power of the Magrav. The older lady holding a crystal with the coils made up by her own with limited resources, like the candle of peace that was outstanding confidence that you have given us. And the boy from Africa making Gans from his own body for treatment of malaria and successfully treated also. This is now flowing. As in the ancient Vedas, I don't know about the real origin and appearances of these books. For me, each unit is a Sri Yantra, and the spaceship is the Vimana. This is really going towards beauty and perfection as according to the universal law. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hopefully we should be able to announce new changes in the new year in a very positive direction. A lot of people are working in the background very hard, even during the holidays, to make sure it happens. We were surprised, even the people in the factory wanting to be back, just taking 2 days off today and tomorrow. They start back to work on Saturday because they've seen how the power units brought changes to them, because they are using it themselves. And we will increase our research. New products will be announced by the Innovation Center. We are looking for a huge number of people to employ by the foundation. We estimate.
I was going to say the Chinese call it the happy box. I wonder what the Italians call it.
What do you mean?
Well, they call it the Chinese call it the happy box because it makes them feel happy when they go into the room where the reactor is.
Yeah, there are 3 more reactors on the way to Chinese. I have to explain that with the setting up of the factories, we are looking within the Keshe Foundation family to employ across the world between 30 to 50,000 people in 2016, 2017. We have opened the site. As the factories build up, as the production and the new materials comes, we are looking within the structure of the Keshe Foundation supporters. If you know about nano coating, if you know about the Gans making, if you've done enough work with the plasma technology, please get in touch with the factory section, because I know Arman needs a lot of people to do the job. He's going to get pinched by the Germans for a couple of weeks, I think, with to make sure everything goes there the way they are to do it. And they have started recruiting what we call industrial teachers, plasma teachers, to teach in the factory workers. We need to teach the people before we can teach the factories, that we know exactly everything is done correctly. I congratulate Arman for his hard work. He's worked very hard in the background, and as a devoted man to the technology. In so many ways, as I pull away from this term, from the teaching side, and a lot of you thought I'm just not going to teach, but I teach only 1 day a week in the institute, because most of my work from now on goes to what we just announced. To building up the spaceship city will take a lot of time.
I thankful for Armin. Thank you.
Hello? Somebody is in the background. So the reason that I pull out of the teaching so much, will be done by the teachers, by the new teachers which Marco is setting up, is because we have to see the development of the spaceship city. In agreements, these things a lot of time, and I will be heading the space program in the spaceship city if we come to the agreement final pieces. So there'll be less teaching by me in a way in Bari, in what you call it, in Valletta, but the expansion of the teaching goes to Marco and the team of the teachers he's setting up. I thank Marco for his hard work. He was even there yesterday. He hasn't gone home for Christmas yet. We met on Monday in the office. He was still working there. Stanley and Marco setting up the FFSSI teaching as a structure. We will open the African Teaching Center with the help of Marco and Alex and Benjamin. We are hoping to open, if we can get any kind of work done, in US Teaching Center, that you don't need to move from your continents to come to Europe. This is what Marco is planning in the background with it, as far as I know. we are hoping that we can come to some sort of collaboration with the Chinese to open directly teaching centers in China. We might announce an opening center somewhere in the destination of the space city. A spaceship city will bring its own research center and its own teaching center. And the capability and capacity has got to be discussed, that you can actually come to work within the spaceship teaching center and work as developers of the spaceship program. We kept all this to the back end of the year now. We have more or less received the first green light, and we have moved to the position to take over this position. So from today on, or from this week on, you will have the Keshe Foundation, you have KFSSI, the teaching arm, you have the Keshe Foundation, what do you call it, as a spaceship institute on its own, with its own logo, separate. The manufacturing will be done. We are moving the factory to a new location with the offer we received from the Italian government. I thank the Italian authorities. Our television station, some of our team have already seen the pictures from the station. Is the most modern, on the edge of the station system we can have, both for satellite and internet. And the banking system, we have received the first step to put in application in for the Keshe Foundation Bank, which is not another company, is called Keshe Foundation Banking System, or the Bank Center. We have all the facilities. It takes us a few months to get the formalities finished in the new year. You're not going to another bank like whatever you call it, the normal commercial banks. All the factories of the company, of the Keshe Foundation, will bank with the same bank. And all the credits, all the payments, all the sales, all the income of the foundation will go through the same bank. This part of the organization we've been told we are authorized to operate is to run our own credit card, our own collection of the money, that we can directly get people to pay into the accounts, very much like a PayPal system. We've been told it's been primarily agreed, it's just a formality of the legal system to put in order. We have come a long way in 12 months, but on the other hand, it could not be done without support of all of you around the world, to bring the knowledge on the table for a lot of people. People making it, they feel it, they see it, they see the change in them. We will show new medical systems coming into operation. Now that the first two systems has been accepted as a medical step 2, or what you call it, section 2, they has opened our doors for the massive release of more medical systems. I will show you next week a new way of using your systems for concentration, regeneration of cells. Like if you have a heart problem, valve problem, heart valve problems, where you can support without any internal operation to rebuild the cell, rebuild the tissue. We start teaching it, and we release the equipment for it to be tested by worldwide scientific world. As I said, I thank Vince for the massive work he's taken on in past 12 months. And I especially thank his wife who let us have him in this way. There is Rick, who
She welcomes you too.
I know you suffered a lot. The same with Sandor, the same with all of you who supported the foundation. We made a lot of sacrifices, but I think it's paid off. If we manage to finalize the spaceship city with the governors, with the rulers, with the what I call presidents of these countries, we go to the next step of the development of the space technology. We'll see what happens. Our people have moved in position, and I wish them all the best to complete this venture with the spaceship city. we will have the support. I wish I was with them, but it's getting done. Especially we have moved away from the position to let them to do their job. This brings a lot of support to the Keshe Foundations internationally, and we are not looking for recognition. We just want to carry on to develop the system. And today we saw Ali showing us the first what we said. Thank you indeed. Have a nice Christmas. And as we said, we come from the light, we go back through the light. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be the end of the 93rd Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Thursday, December 24th, 2015. And we'll see you back again next week at the same time and place, hopefully.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Thank you, everyone. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. It's Christmas here and tomorrow in Singapore.
It's Christmas here in Italy.
Somebody already mentioned that it's Christmas Day in their time zone.
Yep, we're all moving there.
Okay, I'll stop the live stream.